Hello everyone and welcome to UK Foundations. Today we'll be studying life processes and it's going to be a multiple choice question session. So let's begin without any further ado. The first question over here. Which of the following statements about the autotrophs is incorrect? So firstly, what is a autotroph? Okay, autotrophs are those organisms that can prepare their own food, right? It's auto. So we should tell which is incorrect statement over here. They synthesize carbohydrates from carbon dioxide and water in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll. Yes, so we know it's the process of photosynthesis and all. Next, they store carbohydrates in the form of starch. Yes, that is also true. Third one, they convert carbon dioxide and water into carbohydrates in the absence of sunlight. Is it true? Does it happen in the absence of sunlight? No, it is wrong. So it's third option. And they constitute the first trophic level in food chains. We know this. We have studied it in the our environment chapter that it belongs to the first trophic levels. So that is true. So for the question, answer is third option. Moving on. Okay, which of the following group of organisms food material is broken down outside the body and absorbed? So the food is broken outside the body. If you remember in the heterotrophs, right, we have three types, right? One is saprophytic, holozoic and parasitic. So this type where the food is broken outside the body is called as saprophytic. Saprophytic mode of nutrition. So it's seen in yeast, mushroom and bread mold. It's very clear, right? It's second option. It is very clear over here. So it's B. Okay. Yes. So it's second option. Moving on. Third one. Select the correct statement. Heterotrophs do not synthesize their own food. Is it true? Isn't it true? Yes, it is, right? So the first option itself is the answer. Next one, heterotrophs utilize solar energy for photosynthesis. But photosynthesis, heterotrophs do not perform such a reaction, right? So it's wrong. Next, heterotrophs synthesize their own food. It's contradiction to the statement given in the first one because first one is correct. Next, heterotrophs are capable of converting carbon dioxide and water into carbohydrates. All of these are given for autotrophs actually. So the correct one is first option, that is they do not synthesize their own food. Okay, it's first option. Next, which is the correct sequence of parts in human alimentary canal? So we know alimentary canal is right from the mouth to the anus. So according to that, it should definitely start from the mouth. Then next one, if you observe, is it stomach? Is it esophagus? So it's obviously esophagus, right? Then you have to eliminate options. It should be B or D. Next, it is the stomach. So is it the small intestine or the large intestine? It is the small intestine, then the large intestine. So it's D. Okay. Next, the fifth question. Okay. If salivary amylase is lacking in the saliva, which of the following events in mouth cavity will occur? So basically we know that in our mouth we have saliva which contains an enzyme called salivary amylase. So what is the main role of it? It's basically to break down starch into its respective sugars. So in the absence of it or in its lacking, this activity will not take place. So it's B. Starch breaking down into sugar will not take place. So we know this, right? We are aware of all of these. So let's move on. The inner lining of stomach is protected by one of the following from HCl. Which of the following is correct? Choose the correct one. Is it pepsin? Is it mucus? Is it salivary amylase or is it bile? So we know it very well that it is mucus, right? So it is second option, which is mucus. Next, which part of the alimentary canal receives bile from the liver? So you have to know this, that when the food enters from the stomach into the small intestine, the secretions from the liver and pancreas take place. So at that time, bile from the liver will be secreted and from pancreas will get trypsin and lipase. So this is all very common. So here which part means it will be the small intestine. It's second option, B. Okay. Yes. Okay. A few drops of iodine solutions were added to rice water. The solution turned blue-black in color. This indicates that rice water contains, so is it complex protein, simple protein, fats or starch? We are very much aware about it that it is starch. We know that potato one's experiment as well, right? We tried with iodine solution itself. So this will be starch. Very easy and very common question. Next. In which part of the alimentary canal food is finally digested? So if we didn't study the study material properly, then we might get confused between small and large intestine. Actually, the answer is small intestine only. What happens in the large intestine is only absorptions take place, like excess water, minerals, salts and all will be reabsorbed. But in small intestine only, there will be finally entire food will be broken down. We know the presence of villi and other secretions as well. So it will be small intestine. Okay. So now it should be 10th question. Yeah. Choose the function of the pancreatic juices from the following. So the pancreatic juices are trypsin and lipase. So there is a trick to remember. In the stomach, pepsin is secreted, right? Pepsin and trypsin are kind of like, they sound the same, rhyming. So trypsin also will digest protein, while lipase will emulsify fat. Emulsification takes place, so it is D, right? Trypsin digest proteins and lipase emulsified fats, so it's D. Next, when air is blown from mouth into a test tube containing lime water, the lime water turned milky due to the presence of. So lime water turning milky is very common because we know it's the effect of carbon dioxide. We have done this. It's a test for checking the presence of carbon dioxide as well. We did this in chemical reactions and equations chapter as well, so you can check out that video also. MCQ, short answers, long answers are also there. They're also available already in the channel. Okay, so it's carbon dioxide. Moving on. Right, it's the 12th question now. Okay, the correct sequence of anaerobic reactions in yeast. So we know that anaerobic means anaerobic respiration is the respiration in the absence of oxygen. So in yeast, firstly glucose will split into pyruvate, right? A 6 carbon molecule into a 3 carbon molecule will take place in the cytoplasm. So the next step, actually we should know the fact that mitochondria is only for aerobic respiration. Okay, in any other case the second arrow will be followed again by cytoplasm, so you can eliminate first and third option. It should be B or D. In B or D, we know that lactic acid is for muscles, right? In the muscles lactic acid will be formed, so it should obviously be D. Simple, very easy. Okay, so it's D option. Next, which of the following is most appropriate for aerobic respiration? What is an aerobic respiration? Aerobic respiration is respiration in the presence of oxygen. Okay, aerobic in the presence of oxygen it takes place. So we know that the first step is in the cytoplasm, so it should be B, C or D. Next, it's in the mitochondria, so according to that, again B, C and D will follow. If you haven't read the textbook and there's a picture in properly, then you will definitely mark B. But if you note one point in the textbook, you'll have pyruvate, a 3 carbon molecule below that. Energy is also formed, so it should be C or D. Okay, check it once. And later mitochondria, finally also energy is produced, so it's option D. Okay, so twice energy is produced here, also once it's produced, here also it's produced, so it is D. 13th one is D. Okay, yes. Moving on, 14th one, definitely check that once. Okay, you will also realize, oh, I forgot to read that one. Okay, yes. Which of the following statements is or are true about respiration? During inhalation, ribs move inward and diaphragm is raised. Does the rib move inward? During inhalation, what happens? We take in air, right? So our ribs should move outward. Basically, the lung should expand to fill in the air. So first one is wrong. Second one, in the alveoli, exchange of gases takes place. We know that. That is, oxygen from the alveolar air diffuses into the blood and carbon dioxide from the blood into alveolar air. So we know this, it's true. Okay, next. 2 is correct. Hemoglobin has greater affinity for carbon dioxide than oxygen. Is this true? No, right? Hemoglobin has greater affinity for oxygen actually. So that's why it is used to transport oxygen from different parts and all of that. Next, alveoli increases surface area for exchange of gases. This is very true. So 2 and 4 is correct. It is option D, 2 and 4. Okay. Next, 15th question. Yep. Which is the correct sequence of air passage during inhalation? So it definitely starts with the nostrils. Okay. Next, this part you should remember that it moves from the pharynx to larynx. Okay. So you can remember nostrils, pharynx, larynx, trachea and the alveoli. Finally, it's the alveoli. It is D option. Okay, there's not much to explain over here, right? The passage of air through our body will start from the nostrils into the pharynx, then the larynx, then the trachea, finally with the alveoli. Next, 16th question. During respiration, exchange of gases takes place in. Okay, they're asking takes place in. Does the trachea and the larynx through which the exchange of gases takes place? No. It's the alveoli of lungs, definitely. Let's check the other options as well. Alveoli in the throat. Definitely throat does not exchange gases. We don't have any sort of porous things that we have exchange of gases. Then throat and larynx, nope. So it's only B. Okay, it's alveoli of lungs only. Next, the 17th question. Here we go. Which of the following statements is or are true about heart? So this thing you have to know very well about the heart. Left atrium receives oxygenated blood from different parts. Is it true? From here itself you can stop. From different parts of the body does left atrium receive oxygenated blood? No, right? Basically, let me explain the thing. Left atrium gets the oxygenated blood from the lungs. Okay, then it will pass it to the left ventricle. Now the left ventricle will pump this oxygenated blood throughout the body. Okay, so it is the left ventricle that is pumping the blood. So then later, once the oxygen is exchanged, carbon dioxide should be again removed out of the body. So this deoxygenated blood, or the blood rich in carbon dioxide, goes to the right atrium. Okay, and the right atrium will receive it and it will push to the right ventricle. The right ventricle now will pass this deoxygenated blood to the lungs. Or carbon dioxide is released from the body. It's just a simple mechanism. And yeah, so according to that you'll get the second and the fourth option. Okay, so let's see why the third option is wrong. Left atrium receives oxygenated blood to right ventricle, which sends it. So they are telling that right ventricle will send this oxygenated blood to different parts of the body. Is it true? No. First of all, there is no transfer from atrium to the ventricle of left and right. There's septum in between. This kind of action will not take place, so it's only 2 and 4. Simple. Next, the 18th question. Okay. What prevents backflow of blood inside the heart during contraction? So we know that there is valves, right? There are valves in the to prevent the backflow of blood. So thick muscular walls of ventricles, no. Thin walls of atria, no. It's because of the valves in the heart. Okay. So right. Next, the 19th question. Single circulation, blood flows through the heart only once during one cycle of passage. So we should show where the single circulation takes place. So in the case of any kind of reptile or amphibians or mammals, there'll be double circulation. Okay, so because of that it will be second option. Here hippocampus, exocetus and anubis, you'll find the point that there is single circulation. There is no double circulation over here. So it's option B. Okay, in the case of first one, you will see that chameleon is a reptile and salamander is an amphibian. So they'll have 3-chambered heart, because of which you can expect some sort of double circulation, a little bit of double circulation. In the third one, all are amphibians actually. Hyla, Rana and Draco, all are amphibians, because of which we can expect double circulation, partial double circulation. Finally, turtle over here, because this turtle is a reptile, and because of which we'll have double circulation. So again, there's no single circulation over here. Okay. 20. In which of the following vertebrae group or groups heart does not pump oxygenated blood to different parts of the body? So where we can't expect pumping of blood. So Pisces is basically the fishes, where you have only two chambered hearts. So there is no there is no back circulation, there is no double circulation, there is only single circulation. Blood only enters the heart once. Okay. So basically this is because it's a single circulation again, where deoxygenated blood from the different parts of the body is only pumped into the heart and it's finally removed out of the body. So yeah. Okay. Next. Yeah. Choose the correct statements that describe the arteries. Okay. We know the arteries, veins and the capillaries, the different blood vessels. They have thick elastic walls. Blood flows under high pressure, collects blood from different organs and bring it back to the heart. They're telling that they bring it back to the heart. No, right? They are going to pass it from the heart to different parts. So it's correct up to here. They have high pressure and they have thick walls is correct. They have thin walls, wrong. And with valves is also wrong. Next, they have thick elastic walls. Blood flows under low pressure. No. Next, they have thick elastic walls without valves. So there is no valves inside. Blood flows under high pressure and carries blood away from the heart to different parts of the body. That is true. So it is D as well. It's only D. It's not D as well. It's D. Okay.